Yo, what's going on, guys? It's gonna be another recap for today. What I saw, what I felt coming into the market, what I was looking for, and if I took any trades today. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Sorry, I didn't take any trades today. My setup and my model didn't present itself today. There was one decent setup that I liked, but except for that, everything else was pretty shitty. Um, and the setup when it formed and my entry model actually presented itself, the risk to reward was in the negative. So it was a pretty dirt trade. I couldn't really take that. And I mean, realistically, I could have taken it and then held for a one to one off thin air. But I like to keep my trades as logical as possible, and I like to target draws on liquidity, not thin air. But I mean, you could have done that if you wanted to. But I'm going to go over that today anyway, and I'm going to show you why I didn't take the trade, or why I didn't take any trades today, and what I wanted to see coming into market open. So let's go back to 9:15. Perfect, right here. Okay, so on the higher time frame, we had a dump, right? We're pretty bearish on the higher time frame, but again, coming into today, I was actually pretty bullish. My reasoning for being bullish was pretty simple. So we are, first of all, a simple way to tell your buys for the day. What are we respecting, and what are we delivering off of, and what have we filled, and what kind of market structure are we moving? What are we heading towards? So at the start, what I've seen coming into market open, or just coming into the market for the day, we were first of all delivering from sell side. Cool, so there's one bullish confluence. We inverse this hourly gap down here, or sorry, not down here. Where was it? This hourly gap, sorry, right here. This bearish 1 hour, we inverse this gap, right? And we're delivering off of this fully filled NWOG, so ES. Obviously, new week opening gaps have like a strong tendency. Once price comes into that and fills it, it'll bounce off it if we're going to be bullish. And today, the overnight session, so London came in and on ES fully filled this NWOG, and on NQ, I mean basically fully filled the NWOG. Like I would look at that as a fully filled NWOG. Um, so delivering from sell side, retrace into the NWOG, fully filled it, respected it, moved higher, inverse and hourly PDRA. I was pretty bullish. And I was bare minimum at bullish up to these 4 hour highs up here. Right? Why was I bullish up to these? Because this is a 4 hour prominent wick. This is a 4 hour high within a 4 hour fair value gap. So this was my final draw on liquidity for today. After this got hit, to be honest, I didn't really know where we were going to go. But unless the market told me something that there would have been, that if it presented an A plus setup, I still would have potentially taken it to the upside. It's up until internal liquidity. Cool. So coming into market open, my condition was pretty simple. What I wanted to see on market open was we left this hourly fair value gap down here unfilled at around 9 a.m. So what I was looking for was for a price to open, because I like this structure as well, right? If you look at this, I was talking about like structure inside of fair value gaps, or like the structure that creates it. This was nice. Like we had like 15-minute lows right here. It's a nice 5 minute internal liquidity, nice 15-minute internal liquidity. It just looked nice and it looked like it wanted to be taken. And if we could take that and then tap into the hourly unfilled PD array and then reject out of that and bounce off it and make a move higher, I would have been 100% willing to take longs with this 4 hour high up here as my final draw on liquidity for the day. Now let's have a look what market open does. So yeah, pretty simple condition coming into today. No SMTs down here anyway, or really any SMTs at all that were like telling me the opposite story. I'm not gonna lie. So I was pretty bullish up to there at minimum. Market open. Where is it? This is 15, 20. Whoops. 25. It looked like we were gonna get that on market open, but market open again had other ideas, and it just boom, me bomba, insta drink candle to the upside. Cleared out my final draw on liquidity for today. So after seeing this, to be honest, I was already kind of in the mindset of, okay, cool. I am realistically probably not going to end up taking a trade today because this is not what I wanted to see. And this is my final draw on liquidity for the day, and I don't really know where we want to go from now. However, I always be like, okay, cool. I'll sit on the charts for a little while, and I'll see if anything happens. If we get an A plus setup, maybe back towards the upside, or potentially towards the downside after we tap this 4 hour. Now where was it? Perfect. Yeah, I should. Can I go back on ES? Oh, it doesn't let me down. Okay. All right. So I'll go to when we open up this 5 minute here, right? Cool. So we opened up this 5 minute PD array, and then for me, basically at this point, I was like, okay, if we're going to continue to be bullish here, I want to see this 5 minute hold. I want to see it get respected. And we come down, and we open up this bearish 1 minute as well. So we tapped into this unfilled 5 minute, but now the reason why this was a pretty good setup is because of what ES did. And I'm going to show you exactly what ES did right now. So this is the unfilled 5 minute, cool. So as that comes into here, but look at ES. This is 946, okay? Yeah. So this is going to be 950. We'll go to 950. 948. 950, okay. This was the bearish 1 minute right here that opened, right? But look at ES at 950. ES was doing what I wanted to see NQ do on open. So I hate the way TradingView does this. It's so annoying. Oh my god, where even am I now? Okay, anyway, so ES came into this hourly, this unfilled hourly, swept out this internal structure, and then rejected out of it. So there was we had a rejection off a higher time frame PD array. I don't mind if it happens on ES or NQ, as long as it happens on one of them, because these pairs are correlated. So as long as it's on one pair. So we had rejection of a higher time frame PD array, which was ES going into this unfilled 1 hour, sweeping at this internal liquidity. We had a bullish SMT as well, so this was even stronger confidence. We had a bullish SMT at these lows and this internal structure down here, okay? And we had a draw. We had some nice internal structure that we generated up here, right? So at this point, I was like, if we inverse this 1 minute fair value gap on NQ, I will take this trade because this was an A plus setup continuation model to the upside, and everything was telling me that we are not going to go down. After this move in particular, we are going to move higher. This is exactly what I wanted to see for us to move higher, but it was ES was the one to do it today, and but there was still a great long opportunity on NQ. NQ is the leading asset here as well. NQ is going to hit these internal highs obviously before ES will, so it's a safer trade on NQ too. So I was liking this trade, and I was willing to take this if we inverse this 1 minute. So coming in here, which is the next candle. Yeah, basically the craziest edge ever, as you can see. Hold on, I'll put the magnet on just to show you guys. It didn't inverse. It didn't inverse. Now it inversed on MNQ, but we tried on NQ, and as you can see, the craziest fair value gap edge ever. I was like this. I was like holding it, and I was like, wait a second, and I zoomed in and I seen this, and I was like, oh my god, no way. Now it edged the inverse here, so I didn't take it, and the close wasn't great. You don't really like. You'd like to see more of a close, like, sorry, like you'd want to see the candle close like here, you know, like you wouldn't really, or maybe like here. You don't want to see it like this is just not a great close. It's not a great sign of disrespecting a fair value gap and flipping order flow to the upside, right? So I didn't take this. Again, break even point would have had to been these internal highs if I did take this, and final take profit would have had to been because I like you could have held for more here, but like it's just illogical to do so. You're taking trades off of what your position tool says, right? Like you're taking like even if you had this at this internal structure and then like even at the body here, this candle like it's a negative risk to reward. You could say, oh well, I'll hold until here because yeah, it might hit it, but like bro, like well, it's thin air. Like you don't know that. Like literally, perfect example on Friday. Like if you did that on Friday, remember the trade that I took and it literally hit my take profit to the tick and then reversed in the opposite direction. Like that stuff happens a good bit, right? It's liquidity for a reason. Like this stuff happens a lot. So holding for a 1-to-1, even when it's illogical to do so, is a bit silly in my opinion. But it does work a lot more times than not. But it also doesn't, and it's a bit illogical. Okay. So I wasn't really liking this anyway, but it was a great setup. The only bad thing about this was the Arista reward. Like this setup was A plus, like to the dome. It was extremely A plus. But the only bad thing about it again was the Arista reward and that we actually didn't even inverse this 1 minute gap. And then if we come down here as well, we like consolidate a bit after this, and then eventually we do sprint through it in the end. Anytime now. Okay, boom, right here. And when we did this, again, I could have taken this because we actually inverse now, so I could have taken this. But even if I had my stop loss at the internal structure low here, like when we came into this 1 minute and respected it, I could have had my stop loss here, and then like where's my take profit going to be? Well, just up here. Like in the end, it did end up running up there and hitting my take profit. Cool, but like that doesn't matter, you know. To me, like it needs to be logical. Every single your take profit, your stop loss, every single thing you do on the charts has to have logic behind it. And if it doesn't, you gotta ask yourself, should you really be doing that thing? Okay. Um. So that was basically it. That was an A plus setup for sure. Again, only thing bad about it was just the risk reward. So cool. At least we got to see there was definitely an A plus setup, even in not the greatest PA. This PA was decent, definitely for a Monday. It wasn't terrible. And then for the rest of the day, I was kind of just looking at the charts, just analyzing, just drawing out some stuff when it was appearing, but nothing at all that was obvious enough for me to take presented itself. And then at 11 a.m., I hopped off. So I hopped off. I hopped off right here. Yeah, I hopped off at 11 a.m. We were just pumping, super kind of usual Monday, just one directional pump. But it actually was pretty decent PA. I'm not even gonna lie. If I can leave this session now. Yeah, so we just pumped went one directional for the entire day. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. No trades today. A plus setup did present itself, but it wasn't good enough for me to take due to the risk to reward. And that's pretty much it. So no trade day today. $0 on the day, which is completely fine. Hopefully tomorrow's PA will bless us with a nice setup, which will offer a good risk to reward. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's whatever. And we'll go from there. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Today is the 24th of November, 2025. Thank you for listening to my trade recap. If you have any questions, please don't be afraid to type them in the comments below. My Instagram, my Discord, and my TikTok are all going to be in the bio, so you can check those out. And if you want to talk to me personally, you can add me on Discord, and I'll add you back. And you can talk to me directly and ask me any questions if you want to ask me in detailed questions. And or you can go to my Instagram and shoot me a DM on Instagram, whatever suits you. It's all the one to me. So yeah, that's basically going to be it for this video, guys. See you tomorrow.